Hey crew, so in today's video I wanted to talk about armor and armor stat rolls and give you guys the best options in farming those armors to get that stat roll and to get the triple 100 stats that everybody's after. Now double 100 stats like discipline and recovery is pretty easily to obtain on all classes if you really focus on it, and I want to go over a bunch of different armor questions, stat rolls, where to farm that armor, and all that good stuff, because I get so many questions on this on a lot of my videos that I want to help you guys out, and I haven't been able to answer all the questions lately, so I hope this helps you guys out. I really do. Now, triple 100 stats is obtainable as long as you just pay attention to the stat rolls that you're getting and where you're getting them from. There are a few places where you can just farm armor over and over to make the most out of those stats and end game builds. So like right here on my Warlock, I don't have this crazy optimized. I didn't go into dim and select the correct armor or anything like that, but I have 100 discipline here and 84 recovery. So still really good for any type of build on a Warlock that you're doing, because obviously grenades are great on a Warlock, and recovery is your rift. This is your rift function on a Warlock, which is why you really like recovery. Recovery is also good to get you back in the battle if you take damage in PvE or PvP, right? But on a Titan, if I was playing Titan, I would want higher resilience, because that gets my barricade back even quicker, and especially when I do ability builds or do endgame builds, you want to have your abilities up. And then on a Hunter, mobility is your dodge, and that's how your dodge is tied to your mobility stat. So those are what you're kind of looking out for: Warlock, recovery, Titan, resilience, and Hunter, mobility, and of course you want recovery on all classes as well. The rest don't matter, and I also get a lot of questions on intellect. Intellect definitely does not matter as much as it used to. Primary weapons do a lot of damage, and there's a lot of way to substitute getting your super, just like double ashes to assets. So intellect, don't worry about that too much. If you're putting out damage and damaging enemies, you're gonna get your super, and you're gonna get it just as fast as anybody else if you're playing the game correctly and you're running double ash assets and stuff like that to get your super back quickly. This is also taking into account when we have minus 20 discipline. We also have minus 10 recovery, so we're losing 30 stats here, right? So this could easily be, 110 recovery, right? So just want to show you that and go over there. So the first thing is a ghost mod. On a ghost, make sure you put on the recovery armor. So you can put on different ones if you're looking for different stats, but I like to use the recovery mod because armor pieces with random stats you acquire will have a guaranteed minimum of 10 recovery. And this is the same to do with resilience, or mobility or discipline. But recovery does cost 4 in your armor slot, okay? So technically, when you're going into your armor slot, you would want to slot a 3. You would want to slot a discipline here, right? Or a mobility, okay? Or like on a Titan, if you're going resilience, a resilience, because it only costs 3, not 4. So you're saving yourself 1 cost there by doing that. Just like this piece has a base of, 21 recovery and masterwork to 23. So that way you're saving yourself an extra slot, right? That you can add another armor piece to it. And then as far as masterwork armor goes, basically on a legendary piece of gear, you can get a 68 base stat roll. That's the highest I've personally seen. If you've seen higher, let me know. But this is on legendary gear. I believe exotics can go to like 71 or 72. But your base is 68. And if you get the rolls in the right spot, that's amazing. If you get high recovery, high discipline, right? Awesome. If you can add a third stat into there, like if you're on a Hunter mobility or a Titan resilience, great. And then when you masterwork it, you get a plus 12. You get a plus 2 to each of these stats, so overall a plus 12. So if I get a 68 roll on a legendary piece and I masterwork it, that's going to go to a total of 80. And then you could also add in a mod, and that'll take it up to a total of 90. So that's kind of like what you're looking for, right? So like this chest piece is good, right? I have good recovery and good discipline, but it could be better. It's masterworked and it has a 3 slotted in, so a plus 10 discipline, and it's only an 83. So technically this could be a lot better, right? I'm losing 7 stats here because I'm using this chest piece. So if you're really paying attention, you can really optimize your armor stats. Now, one other thing I wanted to go over is Artificer Armor, because a lot of people have questions about Artificer Armor and this extra mod slot over on the end. That's because this is a Corrupting Echo Glove. It's an Artificer Armor right here. This armor contains a bonus socket that can be used to equip Artificer Armor mods from the current season. So it lets you equip armor or artifact mods, but again, normally you're using up a lot of slots here. So I wouldn't be too concerned about Artificer Armor. Yes, you can get great rolls from the Avarice dungeon, but one, you have to own that expansion, okay? And a lot of people might not own it. And 2, it's a pretty tough end game boss to fight in there, and you want to be doing it on the hardest difficulty. So it's a little harder to farm armor in there than it is other places. So if you really want the Artificer Armor, you would go farm it there. Just to show you really quickly, it's right over here in the Eternity, and it's a Grasp of Avarice dungeon, and technically you would be choosing the Master difficulty, because it's guaranteed to drop Artifice Armor right here, right? On the normal version, it doesn't drop it, so you need to be 1590, so it's pretty tough. There are champions in the boss room, barrier champions, and to one-phase it, you need a pretty good setup. So that's why sometimes I don't suggest that. If you want to go farm the Artifice Armor, go for it. Now, as far as affinity goes on armor, another big question I get is, well, I already have this masterwork to this. Bungie made this change that you only need an upgrade module and glimmer to change the armor. So now you can easily change between arc, solar, stasis, or void, and it doesn't cost you another ascendant shard and a bunch of materials like it used to. An awesome change. But on top of that, it's easy to change armor, but on top of that, I would suggest that you just keep a piece of each. So like right here, I have these void gloves. I have a stasis gloves, I have arc gloves, and one of these should be solar, but I guess I changed it. So I like to keep one of each and a decent stat roll, right? I got a decent drop and I keep it in that affinity. That way I don't have to be changing affinities all the time, and I can just be using the correct affinity for whatever build I'm doing. So normally that makes it a little bit easier to understand, okay, this is my solar, my stasis piece, my arc piece, and if I'm making a build, oh, I need arc gauntlets, boom, there's my arc gauntlets, instead of having to take all these mods off, change the affinity, and then go back to it, right? Because if you saved the build, then you would have to change this back again if you're going to a different build. So that's kind of why I save one piece of each. So basically you should have 4 legendary pieces of each armor. 4 helmets, 4 arms, 4 chests, 4 legs, and only 4 bonds. And I keep them all in their correct affinities. That way you don't have to be switching a lot of different things. So that's an easy way to understand armor. And then for exotic armor and lost sectors, you can farm any exotic armor piece in lost sectors. So I don't even know what today's lost sector is. Let's check here. I think it was the moon the other day. Yeah, so it's the moon. So to farm exotics is lost sectors. This is the symbol that you see right here. See this K1 crew quarters right here in the middle of my map? That's a lost sector symbol. If it is a rotation of a lost sector that day and you don't see this lost sector, that means you need to go clear the lost sector, and then it'll pop up as a legendary lost sector option or a master lost sector option. So I could go to this lost sector, and today it says, if solo, exotic legs armor. And you can get exotic leg armor to drop. If you do not have an exotic already, so let's say I'm farming legs, and I go over here, and I don't have the second filaments, right? The new exotic this season. If I go over to that lost sector, and I farm out legs, and I'm missing this legs, these legs should drop first. That's how lost sectors are coded. So that way you can get an exotic you're missing. I get a lot of people saying they're missing Heart of Inmost Light on a Titan. Just go to the lost sector on chest day, farm that lost sector, and you will be able to get Heart of Inmost Light to drop. Yes, it might take a couple hours farming it right because of it's the easier mode and it's a rare chance to take that exotic, but once it drops, it should be Heart of Inmost Light for you if you don't have it. It could also be a different chest piece if you're missing multiple chest pieces, so remember that. But that's how you would farm a good exotic roll for your character. Also, exotics drop out in the wild too, so that's another way if you just get a random drop of one. But if you want to target farm them, that's the way to target farm them. So let me know if you guys have any questions about any of that stuff down in the comments. I'll try to answer them there, or maybe I'll just do another video based on what you guys see there. Now, where you want to farm these armor, that's probably most of the important question here. Like, where should we go farm this armor, and where should we do that? Oh, one other thing. For the artifact, I get this question a lot. You can unlock all the artifacts mods this season without resetting your artifact. So a lot of people say, what's your artifact choices? This season is different, and they changed it. It's a great change. You no longer have to reset. Just need to get high enough in your season pass level to unlock all the different artifacts. So I'm 136. I believe it's like 148, maybe. I think it was like around 148 that you would be able to unlock the last one, and that's all the mods for the season. So you don't need to reset your artifact or anything like that, so you don't need to know exactly what people are choosing. because you will eventually just get every mod. Okay, so where do we farm all this good stat armor? The first place I would suggest to you is over here in the throne world, and I would do the Wellspring. And the reason why I would do the Wellspring is I would choose the master difficulty. Okay, in the master difficulty here, it allows you to get high stat Veritas armor, so you get high stat armor. You also get Ascendant alloy, which is needed for crafting if you want to craft any weapons in the future. And then it also provides you with the patterns that you'll need for the exotic glaives. So you're checking off a bunch of different boxes, which is great. Yes, I know it's a master version and it's a little bit more difficult, but with 6 people, it's pretty easy. And especially once a lot of people start getting leveled up here, getting around, 1560, 1570, it'll be very easy. And one thing I would suggest for you guys to do is I'll pull my Discord over here, and if you just click on the Destiny 2 LFG, join this Destiny 2 LFG. It's pretty simple to get into it. And then if you scroll down here, you literally just find where that activity is. So seasonal content right here. Master Wellspring, like this guy right here, looking for 5, Master Wellspring, right? So I would just go here. 1, you don't even have to join voice. This guy looking for 2, Master Well. And you literally just have their join code and you put the join code in and join. You don't have to join comms, you don't have to join voice, you don't have to do any of that stuff. You can just join on people and play. So it's pretty simple, like this guy just posted right now. Looking for 3, Master Wellspring farm. Join this guy. So pretty simple, pretty easy to do that, and that's the Destiny 2 LFG. And I get a lot of questions on people asking, well, I don't have a team to run with, I don't have anything to run with. Go there, and there's just the join code that they post. You literally just join on them, you'll join on them, and you'll go into the activity. Now, a lot of times after 1 or 2 runs, some people might drop out or leave, but you could literally just click on that LFG again and join somebody else and just get right in there. So Master Wellspring is by far one of the best options in the game because you're getting a bunch of different things at the same time while getting that high stat armor. Another place you could go is the story missions, and it's right here, right? Yeah, weekly mission. And if you have a good team of 3, you could also farm the master version of the weekly mission. So high stat armor again and Ascendant alloy again. So these are the 2 top places I would be farming armor if I was a newer player or I needed good stat armor or anything like that. Now another good place you could do this is the raid. Now the raid does take 6 players and you do have to know the mechanics and have to talk. So this one's a little more, bound to if you're able to hop in a Discord, talk to people, feel comfortable talking to people, of course, right? So this one's a little harder. That's why I like the Wellspring better. And that's why if you know 2 other people, I like the campaign missions better. But raid is another choice, and when the master version of this raid comes out, it will be even better. But high stat armor drops from the raid in general. Master version when it comes out will be even better because it'll focus on 1 stat per week, which is amazing. Like 1 week it'll be good stat rolled in recovery. Next week it'll be good stat rolled in discipline. So a raid is another good option. Like I mentioned earlier, the Avarice dungeon is also good, but again, it's harder, being comms, gotta talk to people, and from my experience, it does drop Artificer Armor, but you see how it doesn't say high stat armor there? A lot of times it's not a consistent high stat armor drop. Yes, you can get high stat armor drop from it, but not consistently. And then your last option as a 100% solo player, not doing anything with anybody, never using LFG, then that's going to be over here at the war table, and you're going to take your Umbral engrams and you're going to focus them into the high stat armor rolls from the war table. Okay, that's for all you solo players that might need help in that aspect. So that's my best options there. Like I believe, let me see if I have Umbrals. I do have Umbrals, right? So I would go turn these in and focus those into high stat armor pieces if that's what I need and that's what I'm looking for. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a longer one than our normal one. I think it was like double the time. But I hope that answered a lot of questions for you guys and hopefully walked you through a little understanding more about armor pieces in general, about the affinities, how to change them, about the artifact, all that different stuff. So I hope you guys found it helpful and enjoyable. Be a couple videos up on screen if you haven't seen them. There's some great build videos, and this is kind of what you guys want to be working towards, is these type of builds. And I hope to see you guys all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. I really appreciate it.